Hello, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about questions and answers. There's a handful of questions I wanted to cover that can maybe help other people. We'll get started. The first question I'm being asked is what source do I use for talent spec information? I've got three primary sources. The first is u.gg/wow. I'll have links in the description to all these websites, but this is the first. You can click on World of Warcraft, click on classes and specs. For example, I'm going to scroll down and click on Discipline Priest because that's what I play. It's got a PvP tab here. Now this covers by default Mythic Plus. You can click on rating to get rating builds and stuff, information. But there's a PvP tab up here. It says new. I'm going to click on PvP tab and it's rated A tier. I'm guessing Mistweaver Monk is probably number one. But anyway, the max rating for this build with their data is 24-25. It tells you the stat priority. It tells you the top races. Undead's at first. Of course, humans going to be last. They killed the racials for humans. So anyway, but they have the best talent builds according to their data. They have the best PvP talents here. Tells you the popularity, so I guess these three are the most popular. But for Blitz, I use Ultimate Radiance, Trinity, and I can't remember the other one. It gives you the best in slot gear list, and it also tells you the enchants you need to get for that slot. Tells you your set bonuses, and at the bottom here it has a link to Icy Veins. They have a PvP guide for Discipline Priest, well, for each class, but in this case it's for Discipline Priest. So yeah, that's u.gg/wow. The second website I use most, this is the one I use most, I think, is murloc.io. Is Murloc spelled different than the actual Murloc in the game? But on the homepage, over here on the left, there's guides for each class. Over here, guides and rankings, and I guess they have a forum. I don't know. Never been to the forum part, but we're gonna click on Priest for the purposes of this video because that's what I play. So you notice there's three specs: Disc, Holy, and Shadow. We're going to click on Discipline. Over here there's different game modes. So I do Blitz. I said we, but I meant me. You can pick which hero talent you want. We're going to scroll down. This information is based on the top 50 characters. Here's the top, the leaders in rating. God, this priest is 31-34, but looks like there's several pages of, so it's probably 5 and 10 pages, and each one's Oracle. If you take notice, we'll get to that more on that later, but you can scroll down and see stats like what they're saying you should prioritize, and then they give you details of talent build. The little numbers here are how many people pick this talent. Like out of 50 players data, it looks like 50 people picked Shadow Fiend. Only 49 picked Dispel Magic, as you can see the 49. Like over here, only 3 picked Death and Madness. It's a waste in PvP, but here's the Oracle talents that everybody picked. And the PvP talents most picked. That's the third one I like. Catharsis. Anyway, I don't know what that skill cap is. Gives you a list of the veteran slot and all that good stuff. You can visit and see. That's murloc.io. The third website that I go to, let me get back up here, is icy-veins.com. There's a classes tab over here. You can pick your class. Like, I can pick Discipline Priest, and it'll give you all these options right here. But since we're worried about PvP, what we're going to do is go back up here to the top. Instead of picking under classes, we're going to go over and pick under PvP. There's some PvP guides. There's a guide for Battleground Blitz. Tells you strats and everything. If you're just starting out, you need to learn about the strats. It's very important because it's completely different than just random battlegrounds. But anyway, mouse over PvP here, and you'll see Discipline Priest. You'll see your class, but I'm going to pick Discipline Priest PvP, and it gives you these options: talents, gears, stats. There's even a section for Battleground Blitz races. There's macros. You can get some useful macros. Under talents on Discipline Priest. So one question I get on my talent builds is, why do I pick, let me show you. On the hero talents for, I pick, no, this is different than on Murloc.io. So I clicked on the #1 rated Disc Priest for Battleground Blitz. Their rating is 31-34 in Blitz. Scroll down to their talents. This is the build I have. So we picked Miraculous Recovery, and I get a lot of questions of why I picked this, because it shows up as red in game, and the reason is given over on Icy Veins, under the Discipline Priest build and talent section. If you scroll down underneath the talent build options, in yellow wording it says, note this talent build intentionally talents into Miraculous Recovery without being talented into Power Word Life. While in game, this will highlight as red, indicating an issue. This is done on purpose. Waste no time front-loading the atonement duration to the beginning of the global cooldown without compensation results in a HPS loss. Now, I don't know if that matters that much in PvP, but all the top-rated Discipline Priests picked this hero talent, so I'm going with it. I might try the other option this week, but that's the reason why my build is the way it is. The next question I get is, what PvP add-ons do I use? I use 3 PvP add-ons. The first one is from curseforge.com, and it's called Battleground Targets TWW, the War Within, obviously. We'll go to a screenshot here. So this is the options here. 10v10 Blitz. It's actually 8v8 now, but there's 15v15 and 40 versus 40. If you see right here, there is this is what it looks like in game. This is the options in game. This is the actual add-on in the game. It lists the enemy players, their class, their spec, and if they're damaged, tank or healer. It lists their trinket cooldown and if they're carrying the flag. You can click right here, there's friendly players and enemy players, so you can have one just like this for your team. Like if you're a DPS player, that's what you would want to do, is enable friendly players. I have it disabled because I use in-game raid frames to watch my team's health. But that's the first add-on. The second add-on is capping battleground timers. It's on curseforge.com. This is a screenshot of what it looks like. It's like kind of like deadly boss mods. It's just a bunch of timers to tell you what's going on. Like in this particular screenshot, I believe this is a conquest. In the center of the map is the workshop, and this is the timer left. The Horde own the workshop right now, and there's 38 seconds left until a siege engine is available for a player to take. It's showing that the refinery and the quarry are both being owned by the Alliance right now. It shows the Horde boss, which is an Alliance target. It shows the Horde boss's health is at 94%, so the Alliance have started to attack him, about to win. It shows that the Horde have only damaged the Alliance keep's gate to 46%, so the Horde hasn't breached the Alliance keep yet. And it'll give you a countdown timer to how much time is left in the game and who's going to win it. It'll tell you, like in Arathi Basin, how much time is left before a flag is captured. Just stuff like that. It's pretty useful. I like it. Sometimes it does bug out and go blank, but the third add-on is called Top Target. This is pretty cool. I hope this doesn't go away. Let's look at some screenshots. So the first one, by default, all the options are enabled, which is these 5 HUDs, HUDs, whatever. So player target, that's the one that's the enemy player I'm targeting. It will have this circle outline. Let's say there's 3 enemy players right in front of me, and I'm targeting one of them. It'll have this circle around whoever I'm targeting. If there's the second enemy player that I'm not targeting, but everybody else is, it'll have this square HUD on him. So that'll tell me that if I'm able to, I'll switch over to him and help kill him, because everybody else is trying to kill him. And the rest, it's self-explanatory. We'll go to the next screenshot. This looks like it's a regular rated battleground. There's the I guess that's the enemy team, and here's the friendly team. And this player, from this player's point of view, he's targeting this guy. You see the circle outline? Well, that's his target. It's also got the square outline, which is telling him that a lot of his team is targeting that person. So that's what it looks like in game. And those are the options. By default, they're all enabled. I like to only use player target and most targeted as a healer, because if I'm going to mind control somebody or CC them, I want to know who's being targeted most, so that I don't CC the kill target. Like this really helps. You need to get this as a healer. It could help a lot with DPS too. Just tell you who the kill target is without any communication from your team. Another question is what to expect as a healer in Battleground Blitz. You can kind of expect you'll get a lot of verbal abuse, whether you're good or bad. Really bad players will try to place the blame on anybody else, and it's usually always the healer. Either ignore them or right click their name in chat and actually ignore them. That's the best you can do. I mean, you could report them, but whatever. A lot of times you'll be expected to be the flag carrier as a disciplined priest. It gets old, but just know that you'll be expected. The best situation, if you're going to be flag carrier, is to have a rogue or a druid on your team run in and grab the enemy flag and bring it to you while you're in the middle of the field healing your team fight. And when they bring it to you and give it to you, you take off to your base. Hopefully your team switches from the mid-fight, peels off, and goes to the enemy flag carrier, right? That way you can win. When somebody grabs a flag and brings it to you midfield, that's called a pick, I've learned. Just something to know, a term to know if you're just starting healing. Sometimes you can expect to get yelled at for actually healing the fight in the middle and not going to get in the flag. You can expect the opposite. You can expect to get yelled at for going and getting the flag right away and not healing the fight in the middle. It's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't. But like I said, it's best if you can ask a DPS to go get the flag and bring it to you, and then you peel off. One thing to expect is you will always be a high priority kill target for the enemy team as a healer. With that in mind, try to keep in mind your position. Don't be near the edge of a cliff or the edge of water where you can get knocked off and out of sight. Like at waterworks, you can get knocked in the water and your line of sight, you can't heal. Anyway, just be aware of your position as a healer, and because you're the main enemy target usually, you don't want to get knocked off, because then you look stupid and everybody yells at you, and you lose that objective. So the next question is, what races have I tried for Disc Priest? Human was my original Disc Priest back in 2005. They nerfed the racials. I can't remember. I think it was the beginning of War Within, or the pre-patch. So I quit playing humans. Night Elf, I leveled a Night Elf in Season 2 of War Within for the Shadow Meld ability, and because she's sexy looking. But I had an Undead Priest that I started playing rated in Season 2 of the War Within. For Will of the Forsaken, it's good against Priest mind controls. It's good against Fear, and it's good against Evoker's Sleep. And I imagine that's why it's the most popular for PvP. The most popular priest race is Will of the Forsaken. Cannibal Eyes is okay. It's not that good though. I'm going to start a Void Elf this week. I'm gearing her up. Void Elves have a racial called Spatial Rift. It's similar to Mage Blink, but it's on a 2 or 3 minute cooldown. But it's still an ability to get out of a bad situation where you got a couple melee on you, or trying to get away from a Death Knight. so far my favorite's undead. I'm kind of liking the void elf though. That blink, it's kind of a pain in the butt to use, but I think I'm getting used to it. The next question is, what do I do for mana regen and rated PvP matches if a mage isn't present? Before you start any rated PvP or any any game pillar, and you need to go to the innkeeper. They sell a couple different types of food and drinks, but there's a type of drink that only regens mana, and that's the only thing that's available to use in rated PvP matches. So you want to get several stacks of this, just in case there's no mage. Anything that has health and mana regen from an innkeeper, you can't use it in rated, so don't get it. I think the health and food, or the health and mana regen food, does like 3.3 million mana regen, whereas the mana regen only drinks only regen like 2.2 million. So I can see the appeal for getting the combo version, but you got to get the mana only. And the next question is, do I watch any streamers? There's a handful that I watch regularly. There's Supatees on YouTube. He does a lot of arenas. He's really good at it. Another one is Gamble Bamble, one word, on Twitch. He does gameplay videos. The next one is Signs of Kalani, all one word, on YouTube for WoW updates and news. Emil Zia on Twitch for gameplay. She's really good. I'll have a link in the description for these streamers. I'll have a link for the 3 web pages I use for talent builds. I'll have a link for the 3 add-ons in the description. I appreciate you taking the time and watching the video. Like and subscribe if you do like and want to see more videos. Other than that, thank you for your time. Have a good day.